Live from the City of Angels on this Sunday night. It's the MMT Sunday Evening Spectacular as we have a quiet time in the movie-going space. So let's get into the state of the Oscars race. As you know, I'm the editor-in-chief of AwardsAce.com, and I have just updated all the rankings. I figured this would be a great night to get into it because we are just months away now. We're in early December, and all of these Critics Awards are going to come over the next several weeks. We'll get a real good snapshot of what's going to happen, but I'll be honest with you, I don't need it. I don't need to know. I already know, and you're going to know what's going to happen tonight on this show. We get right into it with Best Actress contenders. Here are your top five. Now, as we go through these categories here tonight, I want your comments. I'll answer all of them. You know, some snubs you may see happening, maybe I see happening, some surprises. And really, we're going to stack this thing. As I tell you so often, when I watch a movie, when I'm looking at an Oscar board, I approach it like the NFL draft, okay? I love the draft because you're looking at players and trying to figure out where did they fit? Where do they rank? If you're to rank these films and you had to pick like the overall best film. Now, granted, we don't see it happen often. Last year, the best film by far, no competition, was Tar. Tar didn't win shit at the Oscars. It is a crime that will be one of the biggest in Oscars history that film went home empty-handed. I mean, Cate Blanchett, how do you not give it to her for Tar? That is, again, someone should be locked up. At this point, when these things start to happen, I start to lose interest in this. I'm sure you are too, because we're not doing merit. I'm not going to get into it again, guys. We're not doing it. You guys know the world works on merit. It's how it goes. That's how sports goes. That's how I want my world to go. I do not want a world where we are feeling good about something because of representation. That doesn't mean I don't want representation. It means that I don't want it to be all about that. It shouldn't be. It's a component, but it's not the most crucial component. The most crucial component is who's the best. Granted, it's subjective, but at the end of the day, you and I both know there's no way. I told you guys going back 20 plus years, if you put Cate Blanchett and Tar's performance up against those winners from every single year, she wins. But last year she didn't? Really? You're kidding me. Oh, because now we are like, this feels better. No, I'm never going to do that. But in this case tonight, as we rank them, I've got to play that game. What's going to feel the best for the Academy as they look at these as we start here, Best Actress? And if you look at the top five I have right now, I have not seen two of these films. Because as you know, I am still on my Netflix boycott. At some point, I'm going to have to watch these movies because I need to really have a grasp on these performances and the films. I don't want to watch them. You guys know I have a real problem. That's putting a massive understatement on the fact that Netflix does not have, AMC does not have Regal. You got to have those. You got to have the two major theatrical exhibitors in your lineup, and you don't. So they disrespect you, the cinema lover, and me. And as such, I don't want to watch their films, but eventually I'll have to. So right now, here's what I have. At number 5, Sandra Huller. Oh my God. How lights out is she in Anatomy of a Fall? If you have not watched that film, go back, look at my reaction stream to that. Very strong piece of filmmaking right there. It's a longer film than I would really want to see, but you have this riveting courtroom drama. Did she or didn't she? And she is everything in that film along with her son. Both of them are spectacular, and she deserves a spot. Okay, that said, as the 5 seed right now, we'll do it as seeds, right? We have Margot Robbie sitting there right below, because here's how it's going to go. On awardsace.com, we've got them stacked from 1 to 5. Number 1's the strongest, right? Number 1 seed, number 2, 3, 4, 5. And then next in line will be who could come in and push out 5, maybe even push 4, squeeze. Some of these categories are going to be more in flux with those last 3 positions. But as you look at Sandra Huller, she deserves a spot, I think, over Margot Robbie. That said, when we finally get down to that final pick that we will make here in a couple months from now, there's a very high likelihood that I'm going to have Margot Robbie in instead of Sandra Hüller because of the phenomenon that is Barbie. We'll talk about that throughout the night here on the Oscars State of the Race. And beyond that, I really don't think we're going to see these actresses get in below there. I think Robbie and then the 5 in front of her are the only ones in play here. Even though I have Benny, and I have Lee and Ellis in there, I still think that it's only between 6. There's 6 here. Not seen Color Purple. I'm seeing it this week. So I'll have a better read on that film. Fantasia, hearing all the raves. She's the 4 seed. Number 3, Carey Mulligan. Again, I haven't seen Maestro, but all I hear is she is brilliant in that film, and I love her as an actress, so I think that probably makes sense at 3. Listen, at number 2, there's no way that I would ever personally have Emma Stone at number 2. I hate, and I really don't like to use the word hate. Well, I mean, I do. But I'm trying to cut back on it. But honest to God, you guys know, tomorrow I've got a tweet review that's going out on Poor Things. It is a devastating evaluation of this film. I loathe this film more than maybe any film I have seen over the past decade, even more than Beau is Afraid. The more I think about Poor Things, the more that if I saw Yorgos Lanthimos outside, I would probably walk up to him and consider grabbing him by the lapels and going, "You son of a bitch. You made me watch this film that is only for you, you pretentious bitch." I'm done. I'm done playing nice, especially when I have to sit through something as brutally unwatchable as Poor Things. I despise this film with every fiber of my being. That's how strongly is that clear. And I would never have Emma Stone at number 2. But because of film Twitter, they're going to get out there and push, and then watch. She has a chance to win. Just hosted SNL. It's not that shit's a bad performance. The movie is unwatchable. It's unlikable. It's everything that makes me not want to ever go back to a cinema. So I don't even want to see her in this race, honestly, because the film, not because of her. It's like Beau is Afraid, right? Would we ever have Joaquin Phoenix in the Best Actor conversation? The movie's terrible. Then why are we talking about Emma Stone and Poor Things? They're the same. They're both wretched pieces of work. Not the actors or actresses. We're talking about the films. But number 1, I'm telling you she's going to win. It's Lily Gladstone. It's going to be Killers of the Flower Moon. She's going to win that because it fits. It's a good narrative. Hollywood loves a narrative, right? We know Brendan Fraser won last year for the narrative. He did not win for The Whale. That film, oh my God, is that the worst screenplay ever in consideration for an award? Anybody in a film with a screenplay like that? Poor Things. Okay. The Whale and Poor Things together, along with Babylon. And Beau is Afraid. Beau is Afraid is not going to be an awards film. We don't have to worry about it. Lily Gladstone wins. I'm telling you, I would go ahead and put money on that tonight. That's done. She is going to win. Okay? Let's go back and let's do Best Actor, and then I'll take some comments. Have I mentioned how much I hate Poor Things? Have I said that enough tonight yet? Oh, the night's young. Best Actor contenders, top 5. Here we go. Okay, so we're going to start in the 5 spot. This is very tenuous. It's Leonardo DiCaprio. Killers of the Flower Moon. Why is he not higher here? Because he's already won. The Academy, we saw last year, Cate Blanchett. When you've won, even if it's been a few years, in this case, it's more recent than it was for Blanchett, who won for Blue Jasmine. That was back in 2014, if I'm not mistaken. He just won for Revenant, 2 years after that, 16, correct? So it's more recent, and it's like, we've already done Leo. He's great in everything. We can skip him. That said, I still have him in. If he does not get in, it's going to be Coleman Domingo for Rustin. Beyond that, it's going to be Joaquin Phoenix. So we have 7 in play here. 7. Right now, I'm keeping Leo in. He deserves to be here. It's one of his best performances. I still have Wolf of Wall Street as his number 1. But that said, it's right there. Okay? Jeffrey Wright, American Fiction, a film that I have some major issues with. I like the film overall. By the way, it's up on the MMT walls now. Do you see it over my shoulder? But it's not the film I wanted it to be. And I know normally that's not a criticism that people like to hear. The problem with it is the core of the story, the core story of him being a fraud of an author is where you want this film to be. It spends so much time outside of that. We talked about Cord Jefferson being a writer of television, and you see it in this film. American Fiction, the more I think about it, doesn't deserve to be in Best Picture. We'll talk about that in a minute, but it's going to be there. I love Jeffrey Wright. I mean, I'll defend Jeffrey Wright all day in anything. And he's really good in this film. So I don't have a problem as opposed to Emma Stone, who I don't care how good she is in Poor Things. The movie's unwatchable, so I can't even consider, but it doesn't matter. It's Emma Stone. She walks on water, everybody. It's Emma Stone. Paul Giamatti really should be the winner here. I know everyone's yelling right now, oh my God, Cillian Murphy. If you've seen The Holdovers, there's no one who's created a more compelling, flawed character this year than Paul Giamatti in The Holdovers. It's one of my favorite films of the year. It's really, right now there's a number of films vying for the top. I would put Holdovers and Zone of Interest as my top, 1 and 1A. They're very close. There's still time. I got to really, this year there's not a Tar, right? There's not a Tar for me. There's not even an Aftersun. Where a film where I just go, oh my God, it's perfect. I love this movie. It moved me to tears. It is a shattering experience as Aftersun was. None of these films this year are that, and I don't expect any of the Netflix movies are going to be that. They're just not. I'm sure Maestro had Bradley Cooper in number 2. I'm sure that I've heard it's all over the place as far as people loving it or thinking it's okay or what somewhere, but he is still going to be a very serious contender for Best Actor. Hollywood loves Bradley Cooper, but I still think at the end of the day, it will be Cillian Murphy because of the phenomenon that is Oppenheimer, much like Barbie, right? Barbenheimer. We're going to talk about Barbie in a moment because that film will, just wait till I have it where it is. You guys are going to go, what? Nope. I'm telling you, I'm dead on again, except for Tar. That wasn't my fault. That was the Academy's fault. There's no universe in which EEAAO is a better film than Tar. There's none. There's none. But we don't do that anymore. It's not about merit. It's about what makes us feel good. What's the best representation of a film for us? Who cares? What's the best film? Representation, awesome. Great. Go for it, but let's not make that the focus of our stuff. Let's just not do that. It's weak. All right, let's go to our comments here. God, it's 40. I need one of you to be a producer to go through these and give me only the good things. Only the good ones. Animotion, you're first tonight. Since I see you, I will get to you because you're the first comment in the box. What's this year's Babylon, Saltburn, or Poor Things? It's going to be Saltburn because of Poor Things in the narrative. Now, listen, I'm going to tell you something as I say that here tonight. Poor Things opens this week. I believe it's in New York, LA. It's a platform. If they're smart, they're doing that because I'm telling you, this movie will get gutted by anybody who is even remotely in the shade of normal. If you are just, not really eccentrically weird, you're going to hate this film. Poor Things. You're going to just want to tear the screen down as I did. I was so angry in that movie. Yorgos, I swear to God, I almost want to track him down like a TMZ reporter. Find him and go, Yorgos, why? Why did you do that? Why did Searchlight let you do that to me? What the were you doing, dude? You suck also. Can I say that? And then throw an egg. I wouldn't necessarily hit him. I'd just throw the egg. Saltburn I like Saltburn so much more than Poor Things. I understand how people don't like Saltburn, but listen, let me say this. Please listen. This is very important. We talk about getting these things at least right. If you have Poor Things ranked ahead of Saltburn as a watchable film, you have just nullified yourself from virtually every normal human being on planet Earth. And I'm not even saying Saltburn's accessible, but Poor Things is so unaccessible, so unlikable, so full of misery watching this film. Did I mention that it's Emma Stone who commits I don't care. I'm ruining the movie because it sucks so bad. I don't even give a shit. She jumps off a bridge. She ends up dying, but she's pregnant. So William Dafoe takes the baby and implants the baby's brain into Emma Stone's body so that she can go re-experience life as a toddler having sex. Who the wants to watch this shit? Anybody, I'm telling you, I mean this. If you recommend Poor Things, you have some demons in your pocket. Like I don't think I want to know what's on your web browser history because you're a weird SOB. There's something weird about you. You're going to hate this film. You're going to loathe it. But Saltburn's definitely a better film than Poor Things. I love so much of Saltburn until the end. When Emerald goes batshit with the end as far as going too far, right? You got Barry Keoghan and what he does. I won't give the film away because I have more respect for that film than Poor Things. There's nothing to give away about Poor Things. I just told you. Baby brain woman has sex with hundreds of dudes, including a guy with his 2 kids in the room. You know, we talk about Hollywood sending this whack message to the world. I don't want that shit in my sphere. That's the other reason. Do these people who watch these films not go, this isn't really where I want to be as a human being, as a soul? You know, I think that ultimately every film that I look at that I'm going to likely love, it's going to have a very strong element of humanity to it. And I feel like there's so many critics out there with that. I'm not going to get into, I'm going to mention some, I'm not going to get too hard on this tonight. I just can't do it again. There's too many critics out there who, I don't know if they're human. Like, I don't know what makes them a person. It's weird when sometimes I just say, who are you? Are you a real person? Are you a loved person? People say that about me. Oh, whatever. But you know what I'm saying? It's like, do you want good in your life or do you want gross shit? That's why I hated Thanksgiving. It's such a repulsive film at the end. I like horror films a lot, but there's a line. And not just the screenplay, but that film, just like, I don't want to see a woman in an oven. I don't care. That's not my idea of entertainment, right? Okay, let's see what else I got for. I'm going to get into director, and then we'll do picture, and then we'll do some smaller categories. Bradley Cooper has a good chance. Yes, why? Tucker, let me tell you why. Because you have Netflix running the show with the FYC campaign. Netflix pulls out all the big guns. They will put everything into Bradley Cooper to win Best Actor because they have a chance there, even though it will be Cillian Murphy. He's number 2. And I think that when you look at what Netflix can do, they have Lisa Tay back there, who is an awards whisperer, right? She's been in this game forever. She knows how to make the game work for the company she's working for. Used to work for Weinstein. Look at the success Weinstein had over the years at the Oscars. Same thing here. Now she's at Netflix. She is going to make certain that Bradley Cooper is right there with Cillian Murphy. It doesn't sound like it should be a close race because we know how big of a film that Oppenheimer is. And I think ultimately, if you're a voter, and let's say you have them both ranked the same, you have Murphy and you also have Cooper at the same level, you have to select the film that was the theatrical phenomenon that it was, and that is Oppenheimer, not the film that played in 7 theaters, New York, LA, and maybe 50 miles outside Chicago. You can't go with Maestro. That's why we hammer Netflix. We'll do it again tonight. We are going to support the theatrical things. You have to go with Murphy, but they will play a very cagey game, very smart game, and I think also a very ruthless game. The Oscars game, listen, they will do whatever it takes to win, and they will create narratives against the other contenders. We see it every year. A film starts to pop up, and then they say, hey, how can we torpedo this? And I'm telling you here, I will be proudly a part of any torpedo effort for Poor Things. Whatever you want me to do, Netflix. Even I will work with. This is how bad and how much I want to see this film go down in flames. Netflix, if you give me a call, you have my email address for sure. You and I will work with you to torpedo Poor Things from every single category. I will march through the streets of Los Angeles with a song that says, with a boombox playing a song like the one with the boombox. Oh my God, I literally forgot the movie. I will go through the streets of LA with a sign, Poor Things sucks ass. I will go up and down, shirtless up and down Sunset with that sign. I want to see this film go down, and Netflix, I am willing to work with you. That doesn't, listen, this is like one of those things for a movie. We're going to work together for this, but then we're never going to do it again. So this is your chance. If you want to see Poor Things go down, I will do everything in my capacities to make that happen. That I promise you. All right, couple more comments and we get into director and to picture and some other lovely. Yeah, listen, but here's the thing, John. There's New York Film Critics Circle and Gotham's. They're two niche kind of things. Look, last year, Tar won NYFCC along with LA and Chicago. Didn't win an Oscar. It just isn't going to matter. I think Killers of the Flower Moon, we're going to talk about it momentarily. You'll see where I have it. It's not going to win, but it will be right there, okay? Let's see. Tar's the best film of last year. It's embarrassing that we didn't get, they always get it wrong, right? But it's really, Tar was really painful for me because of the fact that it's such it's a masterpiece. It really is. And I don't throw that word around like opposed to like every other critic. It's a masterpiece. Guess what? There's no masterpieces this year. There's not one. So if anyone tells you there's one, I'd unless it's one of the Netflix movies, but I have a feeling it's not one of the Netflix movies because it's a Netflix movie. They don't make masterpieces. Here we go. Best director. Okay, right now we've got, let me pop it up. We have in the number 5 spot, oh my God, I can't believe I have him here. This hurts. I really want to see this film, because last year, remember this, and I think I had a role in this, so I'm very happy with myself. If I can, I'm telling you, a lot of people in this space got into it to be like near stars. Like there was a big Barbie event last night, and someone that was there was sending me pictures of everybody, and they're all like, "Look, it's me and Margot Robbie. Look, it's me and Ryan Gosling." And Ryan Gosling is, let me tell you, I think he's an introvert. There's no question. I've talked to him at a couple different events. He was like this in the pictures, like he's a prisoner. Please get me out of here. Oh my God. Margot Robbie's playing the game, but I don't even want to go to those things anymore. I used to, and they were fun. It was cool, whatever. But I've moved on to I just want to talk about the movies. I don't want to sit there and go, "Look, it's me and Margot Robbie." Listen, there are plenty of pictures of me from a few years ago. Hey, look, it's me and J-Lo. Hey, look, it's me and Jamie Foxx. Hey, look, it's me and Ryan Gosling, Ryan Reynolds. But the thing is the longer you're in this, you realize, and I already knew this, but you really realize it. They're just people like you and me. They just are more famous and they have more money. Okay? Maybe they're better looking, whatever. But who cares? Ultimately, they're a person, and maybe you respect what they do, but I'm not going to worship you. I don't worship another person. Some say I worship myself. Whatever. There's nothing wrong with me. If you should worship yourself, you really should, because then you'll have the confidence in life. Why would you not? It sounds like a bad thing, but then you flip it like that. And, oh yeah, no. Actually, that makes a lot of sense. Bradley Cooper, number 4, Maestro. I just don't know if he can get higher than that. Because of the 3 that are in front of him. You've got Martin Scorsese, 3, Killers of the Flower Moon, and then we get to the top 2. So here's what's going to happen. We are going to have a split. We are going to have Barbie or Oppenheimer win Best Picture, and we're going to have Barbie or Oppenheimer win Best Director. That is what's going to happen at Oscars 2024, 3 months from now. So when that happens, it's going to be one of the 2 combinations. Nolan and Barbie or Gerwig and Oppenheimer. That's what's going to happen. So, as I sit here tonight, this is what's going to happen. Christopher Nolan will win for Oppenheimer. That is the number 1 director on the board, because when you think about Oppenheimer, the screenplay, I think, is not it exactly, right? How many people have you talked to about Oppenheimer? The back 45. We have the test, Los Alamos, and then we have 45 minutes of Senate hearings. You're like, what? You peaked, and then you give us this at the end? I know Downey Jr., he's going to win supporting, by the way. We'll talk about that in a minute. But that's not the strength of the movie, the screenplay. It's the direction. It is Ludwig's score. It's the calibration. That's direction. That's why Nolan wins for Oppenheimer. So what does that mean? In Best Picture, I just said it. It means that, let's look at the top 10, and I'll tell you what we got. At the number 10 spot, right now, a film that I have number 2 on my board behind The Holdovers, and the only reason The Zone of Interest is not number 1 is because it is a very cold and calculating and distant and horrifying film. And I think because of that, the emotional attachment is not there like it is for a Holdovers. That said, what Glazer does with the direction in that film and how he conveys the atrocities committed next door in The Zone of Interest makes this easily one of the top 10 films of the year. The question is can it hold on at the bottom of this ladder in the 10 spot? Because ultimately, I can't see it getting much higher than that. On my board, it'd be higher. But as a voter, I think it gets in because it deserves to be there, but it will not win. That is why it's a number 10 seed. Now, if The Zone of Interest does not get in, I think everything above that's probably getting in for sure. So the number 10, you're playing with one spot. And guess who else is playing in that 10 spot? You've got Air. That is no question in the running. Air is behind me right here. There it is. Do you see it underneath Barbie? We've got a number of these films that are popping up here on the MMT FYC Wall of Fame, or in some cases like WW84 Wall of Shame. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is in the running. No question about it. They just had a massive event the other night. Almost went, and then I said, nah, I don't want to drive to the Academy Museum. That's where I'm at now. Plus, I've seen the movie twice. As much as I love those live score, and the live score events are unreal. I've seen Parasite. I have seen Power of the Dog, and I believe, I can't remember what the other one was. So those two for sure. And they just did a Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse live score. Pemberton and Lord Miller were there. Big thing. Check out the videos. They're everywhere. That film is climbing. Okay, it's right there. It has a shot at the number 10 spot. And then you have Anatomy of a Fall. I think I'm going to probably put Iron Claw above Anatomy of a Fall. We got to remember, whenever a film does not land its country submission, which is, of course, what Anatomy of a Fall did not land. It did not get France's submission. That is a major leakage when it comes to trying to get Best Picture, because ultimately you want to have that both things. Like Parasite had that, right? You'd look at Zone of Interest will have that. Zone of Interest will win Best Foreign Language. It's Britain's entry. It'll win. So that's in. That's why Zone of Interest is ahead of Anatomy of a Fall. And I think also it's subject matter for sure. Anatomy of a Fall is a great thriller, courtroom drama, and she is Sandra Huller. Oh, lights out. But because of that non-country submission choice, it's going to be hurt. Iron Claw is going to climb. Listen, the more I think about the Iron Claw, it's one of my favorite films of the year. You guys know that. Watch the reaction. It's my favorite reaction I think I've ever done. And I think it really encapsulates everything that I like about the film. And it really comes down to the right director of the right film, of the film. And we talk about, how often do we talk about the director being obviously the most important thing on the film? The director is everything to a film. Okay. Yes. All the other stuff is important, but if you don't have a good director and a director who can do a lot of things really well, you're never going to have a great film. And I think when you look at Durkin and what he does with Iron Claw, clearly he has even a control of his actors, because the actors all give very strong performances for what they're asked to do in those roles as the Von Erichs. And then you look at Napoleon. Listen, not going to get in, but it is a contender. It's there, but look how far down it is. It's the number, 15 spot? And then Rustin's not getting in. I mean, listen, I don't know anybody who's seen the film that says it's a great film. They really like the performance, but they don't love the movie Rustin. Plus, it looks like a TV movie. We already had a TV movie win 2 years ago, Coda. That's not a movie. That's not cinema. Coda's not cinema. Coda is Hallmark Channel shit. I can't believe that won Best Picture. I mean, seriously, think about that. Back to back. We've talked about so much often. Coda, Everything Everywhere. Back to back. Two terrible, the worst ever 1-2 punch for Best Picture in the history of the Oscars. Especially with films like Tar sitting there, right? The year before that, Nomadland, right? What the hell was with Coda? Because how quickly the years go by and you just forget. That's a problem. Most of these films you forget. I'll never forget Tar. But the rest of the films I do. I love All of Us Strangers. I do. It's one of my favorite films of the year. It is because it is about gay men. No, that's not why. Remember, we don't do that. We're not valuing a film because it is about a gay relationship, because it's not really about a gay relationship. But Hollywood does. Oh, well, it's a movie with gay men. Who cares? The movie's great. Doesn't matter. It is a part of the film, no question, but it's a relationship ultimately. It doesn't matter they're gay. It can be anything. It's a relationship. It's human relationship, bonding. Oh, I love that film. The more I think about it. Watch that. It's coming out soon. It's like, is it this week? I think it's coming out like limited. Maybe this week, New York, LA. The rest you have to wait. And that's it. Everything else doesn't have a shot. Anything below that doesn't have a shot. These films are in the, they're there on the board, but they're not getting in. No chance. Let's go. Here we go. 9. American Fiction, a film that I dropped. I just dropped American Fiction all the way down to 9. The more I think about the film, it doesn't deserve to be there. It does performance. It just Cord Jefferson does not deserve to be in for director. No way. No chance. That film's direction is not at a level that's deserving of best director. No way. No, like zero chance. Can't happen. Just can't happen. It's not a bad direction. It's a nice debut. But I would put Randall Park's Shortcomings as a directorial debut way above American Fiction. Like, we're going to talk about directorial debuts this year. You're going to put in Shortcomings way before American Fiction. It's a better film. But, of course, Sony Pictures Classics, like, I'm not talking about Shortcomings is a very good film. Very strong. One of my favorite films of the year. Check that out. It's out now. You can watch that at home. Past Lives doesn't deserve to be here either. It's from a screenplay perspective, no. From a filmmaking directorial standpoint, I can have it there, but it's a narrative, and A24 has created that, and they've somehow hypnotized everybody into thinking Past Lives is some kind of masterpiece. Again, another Film Twitter film that's savagely overvalued. How many of these do we have? How many Film Twitter savagely overvalued films do we have to live through every single year? As we know, Poor Things. Maestro 7. I know that Netflix wants that higher, but it's not going to happen. Not with the films in front of it. At the end of the day, I haven't even seen Maestro, but there's no way in hell that Maestro is better than Holdovers as far as how I'm going to feel about the film. Maybe I'll like Bradley Cooper's filmmaking, but again, I love the Holdovers and I love the filmmaking. The Holdovers is not just a performance film. It's about Alexander Payne's filmmaking and that 70s aesthetic, right? Takes place in 71. And remember, we talked about this on The Reaction. I'm the only person who noticed it. I'm the first person to notice this. When he made the film, he made all of the sound come through the front, just like it was in the past. Not the surround shit. Everything in that film was coming through the front. I know for sure because I saw it at Rodeo Screening Room, Beverly Hills. Some of the best sound you'll ever experience, and there was no sound coming around except for the front. And I go, aha, that's because it's designed that way, because that room doesn't mess up. They don't mess that room up. They have that dialed in. When you go to see a screening, that shit is on point. And I know it's coming through the front. Those are little touches that Alexander Payne puts on that movie, along with the throwback Focus intro, which obviously Focus didn't exist in 1970. They had to create that. Those little touches mean something. The simple structure of that film from a directorial standpoint is an accomplishment. You're going to say there's not a lot. Well, that's the intent. As such, it's number 5. Color Purple is right behind it right now. I'm going to see it on Friday. I will know more about The Color Purple on Friday. Right now, I can only put it at 6, although I could see that film climbing higher. I'm going to leave it where it is until I get eyes on it. If I love the film, if I think it has a chance, I'm going to push that way up there, okay? But I'm going to wait. I'll know later this week. We'll talk about it next Sunday. I might have a reaction when I come out of it. I probably will post a short reaction. I'm going to go see it this week. I'll let you guys know when that post. Probably, I think it's Friday, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, Holdovers 5. Poor Things. I've already expended all of my energy on that film. I don't ever want to discuss it again. Honestly, ever again. I hate it. If you missed the top of the stream, Poor Things is unwatchable. It is misery. It is everything that makes me never want to watch a movie again. I hate the film, and I never want to discuss it again. That said, it's got the narrative, and it's Searchlight. Searchlight gets its movies in there, and it gets them up there. Didn't last year with Empire of Light. Better film than Poor Things. Oh, my God. Empire of Light, even with all its flaws, as a film, I would watch Empire of Light for 17 days straight, then have to watch another 5 minutes of Poor Things. No, 10 seconds, 5 seconds. God almighty. I'm going to pick it. I'm going to pick it outside of theaters this week. Don't see Poor Things. You'll be sorry. That's what the sign will say. See Poor Things, you'll be sorry. Help me come up with a catchphrase for me. I'll put it on a poster. Killers of the Flower Moon, number 3. Because you've got the box office going there. It's not a runaway success like Oppenheimer, but you got to give the credit to Apple for having the theatrical on that, along with Paramount, and it's done reasonably well. I mean, it's not at its budget yet, $200 million worldwide, but That's what it needs to get to just the budget. But that said, it still is a major theatrical film, just like Napoleon. Go out and support these things, okay? Right now, I need to flip these. I think I forgot to do that. So I'm telling you right now, as soon as the stream's over, I'm going in. Barbie will be your winner of Best Picture. Why? Because of the Barbenheimer phenomenon, because of what that film, along with Oppenheimer, did to the box office, to rejuvenate theatrical and just cinema. How many people did you guys go? Of course you did. You went to the theater opening weekend and the days after for the next 3 weeks. It was an energy that I don't think I've ever felt in the marketplace ever. Pre-pandemic, post, any time in my life. I've never seen two films feed off one another the way those two did, and we all saw the phenomenon that became Barbenheimer. As such, these two films will be in director and picture for wins. I'm going to have it as a split. I'm telling you now, it's got to be a split. That way everyone feels good, and Barbie wins Best Picture with Nolan winning Best Director. That's what's happening here on December 3rd. 3 months away, and I am on top of it, and I just nailed it. I want to like now for destroying that. For all these other people out there trying to do this shit's live. You don't see me here reading a teleprompter. You don't see me here editing and cutting and pasting and putting together all this shit. This shit is live on a Sunday night at 9:14 because that's how we roll. Not everybody can do this, and I hope you appreciate it. Your support is greatly appreciated. Do you have Barbie winning screenplay? No question. I mean, if it wins Best Picture, it's got to win screenplay. Those two are always in conjunction, right? They've always combined. So when we see screenplay go to Barbie, then you know it's going to win. It will be Barbie. It will be Barbie. I am going to 100% put money on that. In fact, I'm going to, if someone's in Vegas or knows a way that I can get money into the casino, I want to get some money on Barbie here tonight or tomorrow at the latest. And you guys can go follow suit, because I'm telling you, we might as well start this. We might as well start making money from this, because my advice is like, I am the Jimmy the Greek. I don't know if that's the best. No, well, he got in trouble. Whatever. I am the great Nostradamus of awards forecasting. I'm telling you, you're gonna win. It's gonna win, Barbie. Yep, exactly. It should be moved to adapted. It's a great point. When I heard it was going for original, I go, that's impossible. When you have original screenplay, let's talk about that for a moment before we get into some more categories, because that's what we're doing tonight. I do have a movie tonight I want to talk about, Silent Night. It is the first time that I cannot recommend a single element of a film. Maybe it's the first, because at least if you said poor things, I would say cinematography. Maybe some of the production design. I don't even think all the production design in Poor Things is good. There's a lot of the stuff like on a boat. It looks like a play set. It looks bad. I know it's supposed to be this hyper real kind of thing, but it's not. It doesn't even look that good. Cinematography. With this film, I have nothing to talk about. But yeah, screenplay is always there. And then when you look at Barbie, it's based on the Barbie doll. So it has to be adapted. So I don't know when they're going to make that ruling, if they made it yet. Frankly, some of the times I don't even like follow this shit 24/7. Like some of these people, I'm not Matt Naglia up at like 4 a.m. reading everything. And the thing is listen, I like Matt, but I'm going to be honest with you. I had to do oh man, this was something. I had to do a podcast interview with him. Naglia was on one line, I was on the other, and we were doing it with some guy in England. I forget the gentleman's name. Long story, but I had to listen to Naglia talk, and I'm just going to be straightforward with you. Naglia likes to hear himself talk. You're going to say I do, but I think when you hear me talk, I'm not spinning. It's like we're in like a focal point that is very dialed in, and we're talking about very specific things. I don't think he's just like, well, and then we have the costume director, Anna Meld, who's been in the, no one cares. Matt, no one cares. You can talk about that, but you don't need to. He's one of those guys who talks about stuff like to look like stats and things. That's not what people want to talk about. They want to talk about ideas, big picture, and like things like that we're doing here tonight. It's fine. I don't dislike the guy. I'm just saying that's fair. I'm allowed to criticize people. I know I criticize, oh, you're so mean for criticizing Zach Pope. I'm not going to even bother anymore. It's not worth it. But the point is, I'm allowed to. There's nothing wrong with that. People criticize me 24/7. I don't care. Do you think I worry about it? I don't go to bed at night worrying about whether someone criticizes me. So don't take it so seriously if someone's think about it. I'm not saying I have done things that aren't wrong. Of course I have. Or maybe that was too hard. I'm not going to lie. Of course. No one's going to tell you that I'm like perfect all the time. No way. But I don't also think that Jeff Snyder on the stream here tonight. By the way, I need to go after Jeff Snyder tonight. Jeff, are you still here? If you're here, give me a comment right now. I want to make sure one thing's clear as I talk about this, because this is a very important. I guess you guys talked about me the other day with the Critics' Choice. I know I mentioned this right now because someone asked me in the comments from the stream the other night, what happened with HCA? Why are you not in the group anymore? I'm not in HCA anymore. I'm not in Critics' Choice. I dropped out of both. My choice on both. Let me tell you why. I am tired of being told that I have to act a certain way to fit in with the group. It's never going to happen. I'm done with it. I'm not built for that. I'm built to do what I do, and I'm not going to have to answer to someone who's griping about the fact that I said Emma Stone should fire her management team for Poor Things. I'm not going to listen to someone whine and bitch about me going too hard on a film. Get over it. We're talking about movies. I have every right to say what I say about a film. If I criticize a certain critic, I have every right to do that. I am not saying Zach Pope sucks because he's a little fat bitch or something. You know what I mean? Like something rude and crude and nasty. He's not a good critic. I don't think he's a real human being. I'm allowed to say that. It doesn't make me a bad person to say that. My God. I mean, do you guys ever listen to politics? It gets personal. I really don't do a lot of personal. You might say it's happened. Of course it has. I admit it. But as such, I heard all these stories. People in HCA are not happy with the fact that you didn't like Poor Things and you were going too hard on Emma. And I said, you know what? I'm out. It's over. I don't have time for this. I'm not going to let these dweebs run my life. And yeah, they are. So I'm not going to let them control what I say or how I have to act. And also, I told you guys, I don't care anymore about these events. You don't understand. I don't even want to go to the Barbie function. I didn't go to the Spider-Verse thing the other night. I was invited to the Saltburn, Wine and Dine event down in Beverly Hills. I just want to talk about the movies. I don't care. These other critics, they can go do that stuff because I know they care about it. They fly out to LA, Critics' Choice. All these members, 60 of them, flew out to LA. We're going to give you free round trip. We're going to put you in a 5-star hotel. Let's talk about where it was. The Four Seasons, Beverly Hills. How much is a room there every night? At least $350. So you're talking about 4 or 5 nights, right? So you're looking at about $1,500 in hotel bills minimum for each member flown out, plus $800 in spending cash for each one of them. Listen, I was in Critics' Choice. I left. I said, I'm done with this shit. Here's the thing. I don't know why I'm built the way I am. It is what it is. I don't care. I don't need the validation of Critics' Choice, HCA, any of this stuff. I'm not doing it. It doesn't matter. I'm going to talk about the movies, and I'm certainly not going to be policed by another member who is butthurt over some comment I made about a movie. That, go ahead, because guess what? You're not going to stop me. I'm going to keep going. I keep moving. I'm not going to worry about you. And if you're going to try to hold something over me like, well, if you don't, I don't care. So I guess apparently, Jeff, I'm going to say directly, Scotty Menzel called me on the phone and he said, hey, Jeff said they were talking about you and they said something like, you want to fit in. Are you, what? Me? What if... That's the last thing I want to do, Jeff, if that's what you guys said. It is honestly the last absolute final thing I give a shit about is fitting in. If I cared about fitting in, do you think I'd go so hard about a film like Poor Things? I mean, I don't care. I'm not here to be liked. I'm here to get the message out that films like Poor Things are unwatchable and we shouldn't have them in discussion for Best Picture. That's how I want to run it. I'm not going to be told and policed how to think. It's not going to happen. It'll never happen. And that's why I'm not going to be part of any of these groups. I don't have time. Okay, good. Wait, okay, good. Maybe they did. Whatever. I don't know what they said. I haven't listened to it. But that's the point. That's the point. Is that, Johnny, that's the point, is when I'm being told, and I had a long conversation, I'm going to call Scott out. It's not because I'm calling him out. I'm going to tell him because I tell you guys everything because I don't have a filter, and I'm not going to start like holding things back is I got a call from Scott saying, hey, people are really, bent out of shape about your Poor Things tweet, which of course got blown up by my dweeby boy, Strange Harbors, right? That guy who's not even a real person, another like non-human watching films. And you have him saying, I took a picture in the middle of a movie. It didn't happen. I took the picture during the credits. It's black. Everyone's getting up and leaving. I'm not going to be told I can't take a picture, a flash picture when the credits are on and people are getting up out of their seats and they're leaving the theater. I'm not going to, that's absurd. It's absurd. I'm not even going to entertain it. It's not even going to be it's not going to be up for debate. It's not. So I told Scott, I go, if people have a problem with it, I'm out. I'm done. I'm not going to even like, you think I'm going to apologize? For what? For what? What am I apologizing for? You got to tell me. If I said something, obviously racially motivated or some kind of crazy shit, of course I would say that was too much. But like me saying a movie's terrible and Emma Stone should fire her management team, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to apologize for taking a flash picture as the credits are on and people are getting out of their seats and leaving. It's never going to happen. So I'm not worried about it. So, Strange Harbors, go F yourself. Don't care. And the rest of the HCA members, good riddance. I'd never wanted to hang out with you in the first place. I'm going to be honest with you. So who cares? I mean, there's so many people in this field. Let me just lay it out. I didn't think I was going to go so hard, but I'm not calling anyone out other than Strange Harbors, which is total dweeb. That guy, not even read his tweets. He's not a real person. He's a pretentious bitch. And when you listen to these people, you go, my God. Who are you? You're not even a real person. Do you have a life outside of this? Are you funny? These people on film Twitter have no sense of personality, no sense of humor, and I don't have anything to say except a good riddance. I don't have to answer to you ever again. It doesn't matter. Because here, Jim, you know what? That's a great question. Why are people so sensitive? Because these people are weird. I'm going to be straight up honest with you guys. There are so many people in the film space that are not normal. They're not normal human beings. I'm a normal person. I might go hard on things, but in general, my life is not all about watching films. I mean, today I played volleyball. You'll see pictures of me at the beach with my boys. I have more in my life than just this. And these other people don't. I'm going to be straight up honest with you. Their whole life is validated by the fact they're going to a party with Ryan Gosling and Greta Gerwig, and it's a big event, and they're all crammed into a room, and they're taking selfies with Greta and with Ryan, who looks like he's being held prisoner. They get validation from that. They get validation. I'm a member of Critics' Choice. And so what? Does anyone even bother paying attention? No, of course they don't. They don't. They don't pay attention. There's so many members of Critics' Choice that don't even have a presence and yet you are going to, Critics' Choice came after me for something. I can't remember, some tweet. They said, hey, Eric, and I go, you know what? Listen, done. Not going to answer the question. I'm not going to be policed. It's over. So, but you understand, for a lot of these people, it's everything in their life. The fact they were in LA for a few days. They got invited to a Barbie party. Then they went to the spy. They feel like it's special. I've done this stuff. I've been there. I've been there. I mean, how many times have I told you guys, I get direct messages all the time from big time people. And I go, that's cool. It's awesome. But it doesn't change how I operate, whether they say I'm good or bad. I worry about my own self. And I love the fact that someone says, hey, you're talented. You're great. Whatever it is, that's fine. Or maybe you're too hard, too much. That's fine. But I'm still not going to let that shape how I operate, because why? Why would I do that? Why would I care? I'm not going to do that. If I'm doing bad things, different story. But me taking a flash picture at the end of a movie when no one gives a shit, I'm not going to cry, and I'm not going to change anything about my life that way. All right? Yeah. No. Listen, I think it's not just that, Sham. When we talk about the truth's just lost these days in general. I mean, there's so many people that have their head so far up their ass that when you talk to them about anything, they already have their decisions made up. And that's why we're going to do tonight. We're going to do, of course, another MMT Gets Freaky, because at the end of the day, all that you really need to be in this world is open to everything and think, maybe I don't know the answer. Now, when we're talking about movies and Oscars, that's obviously different. I'm giving you really valid, I think, opinions, except for the movies I haven't seen from Netflix. But when you talk about something like a science thing, right, or something that's a bigger picture that maybe doesn't involve like something tangible you can see, why not be open at least to the possibility that maybe X, Y, Z? And so many people are just like, the truth is whatever they believe it to be. That's not what it is. Let's go even further here. Now that I don't have to worry about the HCA bitches crying and moaning and the Critics' Choice babies, all of them here on a free ride, doing God knows what, a bunch of hanger-ons. It's actually, I'll be honest with you, it's really pathetic, to be honest, if you really think about it. It's like, if your whole validation is from coming out to LA and being at an event, or I saw someone saying, oh, I met, who's the singer? Billie Eilish. And it's like, cool, but who cares? Like, who cares? Ultimately, like, that's your validation that you met a celebrity? It's a person. What are we doing? But we really need to get in a space where, we have things that are true, and we have a world where you can just say whatever you want, right? And we talk about this all the time with the film criticism. I'm a film critic. How? What have you done? Let me read some of your stuff. Let me see what your opinions are. And that's why I went so hard on like a Zach Pope. He's not good at this. It's just the reality of it. And I don't care. You can say it's mean. I don't even care at this point because it's fair. It's very fair. Read the reactions. There's nothing. It's literally like an AI generated response to how you're supposed to see that film. It's not insightful. It's never edgy. It's never against what is expected. And that's what I always am, right? Of all the things. I told you the director sent me a direct message saying, you know what's wild about you? I can never, ever guess what you're going to say about a film. Why is that? Because I am not going to always just go along with what the quote narrative is if I believe the narrative be total bullshit. I mean, why would I? Why would you do that? But we live in a world now where, of course, you can say you're whatever you want to be. And I'm not going to get into the whole, not going to do it. But you guys know what I'm talking about. No, I got news for you. You are X or you are Y, and you can say whatever you want about being a Y or an X, but ultimately the reality of the situation is you are an X or a Y. Okay? That's it. Yeah, I did. I don't even want to get, honestly, Satvik, I don't want to even get into, because he turned himself into a victim. And instead of like just owning the fact that he is artificially intelligent created, I'm not going to bother. I'm done. Thank you, Make a Swiper. Appreciate it. No, William, I don't know. It's not that I think it's great. I think it's unfiltered. I think it's raw. I think it is real. I think no one would ever watch this channel and say that guy's not authentic. That is very rare in any space. I don't care what space you look at today. People are tribal. People are inauthentic, fake as hell. This town's full of it. And I'm not that person. And I think people gravitate to that. I hope they do. Even if you don't like what I'm saying, at least you know that I'm not bullshitting to get likes or views, clearly by the views on the videos, right? I mean, I talked about this the other night with Film Threat. As you guys know, Gore and I obviously going different ways. No big deal. It's not like I hate the guy. But what I will say, and I've seen with their channel is, and Gore he has to admit this. There's no question he would have to admit this. If he doesn't say this is true, then he's not being truthful with you. Because I would say if someone said, hey, Gore said, I'd say this is true. This is not true. He is very clearly shaping videos towards views and a certain agenda, whether it's anti-woke, whatever it is. And I see Alan doing that too. It's kind of like Alan's really leaning into the Disney and just going on. And it's like, I've never done that. I didn't walk into Poor Things, sit down, watch it for 2 hours plus, and say, I can't wait to come out and destroy this film. I went in going, I've heard this film is great. I want to see it. I like Emma Stone. I like The Favorite, Yorgos, Lobster, but, I like The Favorite. Let's just stick on that. Last film he had, really liked The Favorite. But then I come out and I'm like, this film's terrible. Do you see? I'm always open to a new experience. When you put yourself into a lens and you're always having to be anti-woke or woke, whatever it is, that's not interesting. What's interesting is, are you able to watch something that's, quote, woke and say this is still good? Great example would be The Little Mermaid, a film that is not a spectacular film, but also is not brought down, destroyed by the fact that Ariel is an African-American girl. It didn't happen. So if you have a channel, though, that's all 24/7 anti-woke, you can't even go onto a stream and even go there. So in essence, you're already limiting and you're becoming a persona that's not real. You're not authentic. Because even if you thought that, you'd have to go, oh my God, it's terrible. Like, why is Ariel black? I don't ever want to do that. I'll never do it. I don't care if the channel gets 0 views. I will never shape my opinion towards getting more views or being part of an woke agenda. It'll never happen. What'll happen is, here's what I've discovered. I've looked at XYZ, watch the film in this case, and this is what I see. This is what I see. And that's ultimate objectivity. Yes, it's subjective, but ultimately we have to be objective. And I say this all the time. Someone said today, oh, you don't even want to watch May, December. I was going to watch it tonight. Didn't get around to it. I will watch it for the next stream. And I said, he said, well, that's a terrible place to come from that you're hearing it's not as good as everyone says. And I go, well, I can say that all day, but here's what you need to know is at the end of the day, when I hit the play button, when I'm at the theater and we get the first frame, I am at zero. I am level and I am going up or down from that moment. I don't care what the previous thoughts were on the last film, on any film, if I loved or hated the previous work of the director, maybe it's someone I've never seen before. I don't even want to see the trailer. I want to watch from frame one. Where are we going with this film? And do I think it does what it's trying to do effectively? And ultimately, that is where I'm going to evaluate a film. So I don't know. When I go into these movies, I don't know how I'm going to react. I wanted to like Poor Things. I think it is absolutely unwatchable, atrocious, every terrible synonym you can come up with. Use that versus Poor Things. Terrible film. My God, is it bad? Thank you. Information Man Show. Appreciate that. I mean, listen, it's this channel's not for everybody. But the point is at least I think you can at least respect the fact that I am going to be completely and utterly zero brakes, all gas. Okay, more comments coming up in a moment, but I do want to talk about a movie I have nothing positive to say. This is the MMT evaluation of Silent Night. Silent Night is John Woo's return. What was the last film we even did? Come in the comments, someone tell me. I didn't even look. I'd be like, my God, how long has it been since John Woo? Like, we're going back to the 90s. Has he made a movie? Like, what was honestly, I'm forgetting what he did before this. Here is the setup of this film. You have Joel Kinnaman playing a father who is devastated by the loss of his young 7-year-old kid who was killed during gang fire and a stray bullet killed his kid. So he goes on the rampage 6 months afterwards on Christmas Eve. So 1 year later, he goes, but 6 months after he recuperates. It's a long story. Here's the deal. He waits for 6 months and trains and gets everything together and then goes to take out all of the bad guys in the gang-infested city of Las Palmas. Which, by the way, here's how bad the film is. I noticed these things. Do you guys notice them when you watch film? So Kinnaman ends up in the hospital. It doesn't matter. Don't even ask me to explain it beyond what I'm telling you. He's in the hospital, so his wife pulls up to pick him up, and I'm looking at the plates on the car, Arizona. And then he later in the film goes and buys a Mustang, and it's Texas. I'm like, wait, did his wife pick him up in Phoenix and drive him all the way to Houston? Like, how did he end up in 2 different states? The cars should have the same license. These things drive me crazy. But that's the least of this film's problems. Okay. You have one of the worst screenplays of the year, maybe of the past 5-10 years. There's no dialogue. So Joel Kinnaman, the entire time, is doing this. While his wife is consoling him, going, it's okay, like that quiet, because it can't have dialogue. So it has to be like, hey, honey, it's okay. That's it. That's all you hear. And then occasionally, to break the silence, Woo brings in a little bit of like a news bulletin where it says, cops are on the looking for a gang member who shot and killed a little boy. So you could have some voice. But even the detective on the case, when he comes to meet him, they don't talk. It's so terrible, this film. It's so bad. And then finally, when we get to the I'm going to go kill all the bad guys, it is out of control, so unrealistic with the shootouts in the streets as Kinnaman's driving around in his 5.0 Mustang, and he's literally shooting guys out of the thing like Grand Theft Auto, and the gang members are in the streets with like machine guns shooting each other. Like, what is this movie? And yet the gang members are all wanted. All their pictures are on the wanted wall at the police station as the cops look and the detectives like, where are these guys? And yet the gang members are in the middle of the street having shootouts with Uzis, but we can't find the bad guys. We don't know where they are. We don't know where they're holed up, but those guys over there with the machine guns may have something to do with it. I can't tell, but they're not even obscured. They're not hiding out. They're just walking around. but yet the detective can't find them until Joel Kinnaman does all his research online and discovers they're hiding out in some warehouse. This movie, I was laughing. I couldn't laugh. Okay, I was laughing inside because here's the thing. There's no dialogue, so I can't laugh. I can't make fun of the movie when it's so quiet because I have respect for the audience as opposed to what you're being told by my boy Strange Harbors. Is he a real person? He's another AI-generated dweeb. Okay, I couldn't laugh, but there are so many moments in this movie where I'm like, oh, right, this is my face. And Gone Girls see me in the movies before. When I do this, the face. If you watch my reaction when something terrible happens, like Godzilla at the end where the girl's alive, I go like this. Oh, I'm like rocking around on my seat. Like, I cannot believe what I'm watching. That was me the entire time during Silent Night, which, are you ready for this? Not only does every element suck of this film, every single element, including Joel Kinnaman with his wild eyes and his heavy breathing and his no dialogue. This film is a 0.5%. I mean, I have to give him 0.5% for at least making a movie. But every other element of this film, outside of just it existing, is absolute refuse. This film is terrible. It is a 0.5%, which leads us to the whack film review spotlight of the night. Let's find a critic that liked Silent Night. 60%. Oh my God. Wow. This is insane. Tell me someone gave it 5 out of 5. Here we go. I haven't looked. Let's check it out. Here they come, everybody. Okay, here's positive. Richard Roper. Oh, my God. I respect Richard Roper for being on Siskel and Ebert. Well, Ebert and Roper, in the later years when Gene passed away. But as a film critic, the more I think about some of his recommendations, wow. Wow is all I got to say. Just wow. That's 3. I'm looking for a 5 out of 5. Okay, Katie Walsh, kudos to you. 1.5 out of 4. It's still too high. 0.5 out of 100 is what we're looking at. Kyle Smith, who's actually hilarious. People don't like him because he seems like he's anti-woke. Negative. Good for you, Kyle. Odie Henderson. I'm starting to like this Odie Henderson. I used to be in Boston. He wasn't there at the time. I like this guy. He's usually right. Odie Henderson is our film critic of the week. I'm going to start adding that, by the way, to the show. Not the show of the week. I want to do film critic of the week. It's Odie Henderson. 1 out of 4. I would have given it 0 out of 4, 0, because I give it a 0.5 out of 100. A 12-year-old's idea of a vigilante movie with a gimmick that gets old extremely fast. D+, too high, Edwin. Otherwise, you're dead on. Edwin Arnaudin. Nice job. Oh, good God. Here's this Daniel Kimmel guy. Again, he was in Boston with me. 4 out of 5. Oh, my God. No. It's bad. Even the action scenes are terrible. At the end of the movie, we get a raid situation where he's climbing the stairs, getting up to the main bad guy, level 1 evil dude, the boss, and he's killing all the guys, and it's so terrible compared to the raid. Just go watch the raid 2 again. Don't ever watch this. Don't ever sit through this film. 6 out of 10, too high. Come on, give me a 5 out of 5. Someone out of 5, 3 out of 4. 4 out of 5 is bad. That's impossible. Someone give me a 5 out of 5. Some, please. 7.5. No one's okay. I only see a 4 out of 5, which is, by the way, 4 stars too many out of 5. But I don't see a 5 out of 5. Even 2 out of 4 is not good enough. We really need to be at 0.5 out of 100. That's where we need to be here tonight with this film. It is true trash. Wait, did I say MOT? No, we're doing that in a minute. Poor Things is at 93%. Oh my God, is it? Let's save Poor Things for either next Sunday because it's going to be out. I want to do a whole stream where I destroy the film for the whole hour. I want to make sure that Poor Things does not end up in it is like The Punisher. Kinnaman's not a very good actor either. He's not a great. I don't even think he's particularly good looking. I don't think he's unattractive, but he's not even that really all that. I get this thing that people say, oh, I don't really see it.
No, we're not going to do a whole roasting to Zach Pope. It's not even worth my time. It's not. And I don't mean it. I mean, he might be a nice guy. I don't know. I mean, that's not the point. It's really not. It's not a thing about like he's a bad person. It's just like I think he's a really, really poor critic, but that's okay. I'm allowed to have that opinion. Just like anybody could say I'm terrible. It's fine. I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, hold on. Let's get ready for MMT Gets Freaky. We're already over an hour. Holy shit, we're at an hour? God, this flew by. My God. Okay, let's do MMT Gets Freaky real fast, and then we'll get out of here. By the way, tonight's kit is MLS final team, Columbus Crew, my hometown. They got there. This is one of my favorites. Guys, I told you, if you can get an Adidas authentic kit, get it. It's worth it. I don't care if it's $110, $20, $30, $150. It literally fits like a suit. It's amazing. I love this thing. So Columbus Crew playing LA FC next Saturday in Columbus. I kind of want to go. If it wasn't like $500 to fly back there, I'd go. Okay, let's do MMT Gets Freaky. And then we're going to roll out of here tonight. I do want to show you a couple things because if those of you don't know, MT Gets Freaky is where I ask you guys to kind of go somewhere with me, at least to watch something and then decide if you think this thing is real or not. Okay. I'm not saying it is true, what I'm going to show you. I'm just asking you, can you say maybe to this? Okay, that's all I want to know. By the way, real fast before I do this, I do want to do this. This is not MMT Gets Freaky, but I do want to show you. I told you guys I have a life outside of this. This is me shirtless again. But yeah, these are my boys down in Huntington Beach. I want to say a big shout out to all these guys today. Really fun. We played a King of the Beach. You play with every single player you see. So you play doubles. So we only played 6 of the 7 matches because everyone got tired at the end. Well, okay, mainly me, but everyone else was good. Okay, on the left, Max, really talented player. Like physically, jumps so well. He's lightning fast. He really is, like a panther out there. He's the Sand Panther. He is Max. Next to him, Scotty Chronic, left-handed player, crafty, smart, will cut you up. Really great guy. Huge movie fan too. Scott, you're awesome. And then Nabil next to him. I love playing with Nabil. He's very fast. He's got the blue shirt on. He is talented. I played with him now for like 2 years. He's really fun to play with. Cole is next to him. He's got a 6-pack. You can see him there, fourth from the left. Cole is the nicest guy and yet the most deadly player. Like physically, he can do everything. If he was like 6'5", he would be one of the best beach volleyball players in the world. But at 6'1", he is still lights out. Cole. Next to him is Scott. Met him today. He's from one of Scott Chronic's friends, and he's a great guy, good player. He's up there in age like me, and yet we're out there balling out with these young boys. Bryce next to him. Bryce, a lefty, crafty, maybe the most dangerous guy in this picture other than me, and I'm right next to him. Bryce is leaving for Florida soon, so I'm totally bummed. Bryce, if you watch this, you've been awesome over the years. And if I don't get a chance, I'll say it in person. But here on the stream tonight, I'm going to tell you that I had so much fun playing you over the past 5 years plus and getting a few wins. Not a lot, but a few over you, Bryce. There's me in the Rockstar hat. Would you expect anything else than an outfit you see right there? Literally, look at the outfit. I got the shortest shorts. I've got pink tape on my calf, and I'm in okay shape. And then I've got Sal, great player, really nice guy, and he will just eat you alive if you make a mistake. Like all these guys. These guys are all awesome. They're all very, very good. And the fact that I got 2 wins today, very proud. Let me just say, of all the things I have ever accomplished, I think today's wins, 2 wins out of 2 and 4. That's not a great record. I understand that. But with this murderer's row of volleyball players, that was impressive for me. I'd like a thumbs up for winning 2 matches today. Thank you, guys. You are amazing. All of you. KOB today down in Orange County. Okay, here we go. You guys ready? Let's do MMT Gets Freaky here on this Sunday night, and it is time to watch. I've got a couple different things I want to show you. This is, you guys, I always talk about this channel, Jeff P., and I need you to understand, Jeff P. is... I love this dude because he thinks like I think. What if all of this shit is a lie? Maybe we live in a matrix. Maybe it's the Truman Show. Whatever it is, it's not exactly what we're being told. That's the truth. You guys know it too, right? And I told you so many times. Why did I go here? When did I all of a sudden decide to start looking at this stuff. COVID. Because of the response to COVID, the way that the whole world was treated during those 2+3 years, I said, wait a second here. I don't think these people have our best interests in mind. I think that's fair, right? Well, I mean, come on, right? As such, what else have they lied about? What else have been telling stories about? Okay, so this is Jeff P. I found him out of nowhere, just like anything. Like, you guys probably found this channel. Like, who's this guy? Okay, watch. We're gonna watch a couple different things here. Hold on, let me go back. I think I hit the wrong thing. Okay, so here we go. Let's watch. I'm gonna just scroll through some of this. I'm gonna try to turn him down. I can try to talk over this, and I'll explain what's happening. Most of the videos you're going to see are going to be weather cams that are in the middle of nowhere. So this is an airport, some airport. I don't know where it is to say here. It doesn't matter. It's an airport, and this is a cam. And just like you'd watch a cam anywhere, like I can go right now and look at Tokyo. I've got it. I can see it right in the corner here on YouTube. I can go there. So these people watch these things, and they just notice, just like, I mean, who has time for this? I don't. But then when someone cuts it out and starts showing it to you, okay, here we go. Watch. Okay, look here. This is in South Pole. This is Antarctica. Look above that thing. What's that gigantic black thing that's coming in there? Do you guys see it? Do you see how like there's this gigantic black shadow? What the hell is that? What is that? It's coming down too. Okay, hold on. Let's find another one. This is a good one here. Let me a second. Where is it? Let me roll. God, I thought I had the good ones already. Just trust me on this. Once I show you the good stuff, you guys will be like, okay, wait a second. Here it is. Okay, watch. So remember what I told. Okay, stop. So what we have here is, now watch. I know at first you're going to say, it's just a halo around the sun. Let me explain what that is. What I think it is, what I think Jeff thinks it is. Okay. What I think you're looking at is, and I don't know how to explain this because I can't explain it, but I'm telling you what I think after watching a lot of this stuff and really getting into it. I think that what we view in the sky is almost controlled. There's almost like, think of it as a movie screen. I don't know how it works. I can't profess to even have an idea how the technology works, but there's something up there, something they can use that allows us to not be able to see necessarily what's right out there. Imagine again, like you're somewhere and it's kind of foggy, right? And you can't see through it, but on the other side is something. That is kind of what we're looking at here. You got the sun, or Sun Simulator, which we talked about. There's a patent for. Don't make me pull it up. There's a patent for this gigantic like lens sun flare sun system thing that rotates geosynchronously with the sun. And I know you guys are like, what the hell am I watching? That's the point. It's a point. Just wait. I'm going to show you and watch. Wait till you see this. Okay, watch. This is a great one here. You ready? Watch. Wait. Okay, first of all, there's that. There's one right before this. Watch this shit. Okay, stop. Do you guys see this? Look. What do you see there with that sun thing? What's the edge? Look at the curved edge. What the hell is that? That's a planet. That's a planet. That is not. What is that? There's no doctoring to this, guys. No one's doctoring this. I'm telling you, it's not done. What the hell is that? You see how it's almost like projected, almost like a shadow. I don't know how it works. I'm just telling you guys. Look, here's another one. Do you see it there? Look. See? Stop. There. Hold on. Where's the one he just had? It was really good. Look at the bottom. Okay, there's that one on the side. Then you see it. There's a little bit there, right there. Do you see how I'm saying? Look, there's something right there. We just can't see it. I don't know how to, I don't know how to explain what. I'm just telling you. It might be. I don't know. I'm just telling you exactly. There's something. Listen, guys. I promise you this. Even if you don't believe what I'm saying right now, and it's fine if you don't, totally get it. Here's what I'm going to tell you. When we move on to the next level, there's something right there. Do you see that gigantic thing moving through the sky? That's not a moon. It's not the sun. It's almost like it's there, but we can't see it. It's like almost like a shadow, like a faint image of something. I promise you this. When we move on to the next level, you guys are going to go, oh my God, MMT gets freaky. He was right. There was some shit up there. We just did. I don't know what it is. I'm just telling you there's some weird shit out there. Okay? See if there's one more video I want to show you. Like that, what the hell is that? Do you see this? Look, hold on. What's this thing here? Hold on. Where was it? It's like, what am I looking at? What is that? What is that? Is that Saturn? What is this? What are these things? But look, it's like, and also the other one, he had a great video I was watching earlier. I don't know if I'm going to find it right now. I know you guys, again, you've probably seen it's trending on Twitter a lot. They talk, okay, right here. Okay, let me pause on this. Look, do you see this? Oh no, I just lost it. Give me a second. When you look at that. Why are there two halos? Because there's two planets. There's something right there. We just can't see it. But listen, here's what I'm gonna tell you is that I know after watching this stuff, after looking into it, there's some shit going on. I just don't know what it is. That's all I can tell you. Don't ask me to explain it because I can't. I don't know. Maybe it's Planet X. Maybe we are in a studio, right, Sham? How crazy is that? If you think about it, because here's the reality. Here again. Let me just say this as we kind of let me pull this back. You've been told everything, right? Again, you've been told X, Y, Z, outer space, planets, planetary system, all these things. You've never personally experienced it. You don't know. And I think here's what I'm going to drive at. And this is the only reason I ever would have gotten here. Otherwise, I would never even be talking about this stuff. That's why it's so crazy. And I think everyone knows this now. Once COVID came out and it was exposed and people started to realize, everyone's asking questions now, like, wait a second, I don't care what it is, you have to be asking questions. Then you start to say, okay, I talk about it all the time. It's like if you've ever been with someone who cheated, once you realize they did, you go back and you go, oh, boom, 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 right? You see the pattern. You never would have looked at it before, and that's what happened with COVID. They exposed themselves, and now everybody's like, whoa, what are we doing here? What's going on, right? You guys know I'm right. Maybe. I mean, listen, they always say it's based on reality, ultimately, right? They're almost, what is that, predictive programming? Oh, I just like to ask the question. I don't know what it is. I'm just telling you, what I'm looking forward to one day is moving on to that next level and going, and then it all gets explained to you, and you're like, oh, but here's the deal is, I'm going to be like, I knew it. You know I will. I'll be the guy who's like, yeah, I kind of knew. I just didn't know exactly how, but I knew. Like if you're guessing something, you're so close. That's how I am. I'm like, I know I'm there. I'm in the right area. Some people aren't even in the area. They're not even asking the question. So, of course, they're not even in the game. So when they get told this stuff, they're going to go, oh, but I'll be like, yeah, I was so close. Damn, I was so close. I get it now. If I just would have done this and this, I was there. These other people will be like, what? We live in it. What? And I'll be like, yeah, because you didn't ask any questions. Because that's right. And that's back to film Twitter. God, they would never ask these questions because they don't even ask questions of their films. Oh, great filmmaking by Yorgos Lanthimos because he is an accomplished cinephilic director and nothing he does has ever been wrong. Therefore, he's great. That's all they do, film Twitter. They just regurgitate exactly what they're expected to say about any given situation with a film, with a director, with an actor that they love. They never can be critical of someone they already loved before, or they just don't have the ability. It's weird. I don't understand how, but they don't even ask the question, and that's why we're different. And I appreciate you for being here. That was fun. It went fast. An hour and 16. I thought we were like at 45. So that was a really fun show. As always, I enjoy doing the show. Whether we have 5 views or 500, don't even care. Doesn't matter. Ultimately, the fun is had in doing the show with you guys live. And I'd like to get to more comments. And I think I will really explore over the next several days. I'll probably put something in the community tab. I'm going to need somebody to help out with the producing because I need someone to hit the comments because there's a lot of good comments I don't get to. And I'm going to say this before we leave. If you leave a comment, I appreciate that. I will do my best to go back and look at those. If I don't answer them, I'm sorry. Sometimes I just get busy. I'm doing other things. It's not that I don't appreciate the fact that you support the channel, and that does mean a lot to me. But ultimately, I just want to get out here and talk about the films we love. And if you love them too, then it's a win-win for everybody, right? Ultimately, that's what we're talking about. All right, guys, that's it. Live from LA. I'll see you back here. I don't even know when. Maybe Thursday, maybe not. Definitely on Sunday night. Definitely Sunday night. Always Sunday here on MMT. Peace out. Live from LA. See you next time.